Well, good evening, everyone. We're going to get started here. First, I want to thank you all for coming to this great event. I have to say we had a lot of fun and a lot of success this winter season. I hope all the athletes and all the coaches had as much fun as I did. Saw a lot of success. The indoor track team in its second year had 4 athletes qualified for the state divisional meet. Our girls basketball team finished as the 9th seed and ended up hosting a state tournament game. And our boys basketball team finished 5th as the 5th seed, and they made it all the way to the Final Four, where they ended up losing against the eventual state champs, Taconic. So, congratulations to all of them. Before we get started, I just want to thank some who really added to the success this season, worked really hard to help us all out here. First, the Booster Club. Thank you for sponsoring this event and your support throughout the winter. You truly add to the great event atmospheres that we have and make nights like this possible. So let's give them a round of applause. Next, I'll thank school administration, Superintendent Haas, Mrs. York, Mrs. Doktorov, Mr. Barth, and Mr. Snyder. They all provided some great support that really allowed us to put on some successful and exciting events this year. So let's give them a round of applause. And of course, thanks to the parents. You are all excellent role models to the student athletes here. Work hard getting them to practices, to games, and they're a big part of the reason they're able to compete with us and a big part of the success they have. So let's give the parents a round of applause. Next, I want to thank the newly formed Friends of Maynard Basketball. Their crucial fundraising efforts really created a great experience for all levels of the basketball programs this year. From providing food on the buses for those long bus rides, helping out with the charter buses for the long bus rides to those playoff games all the way out in Western Mass. And they had a great program-wide team dinner, which looked like a lot of fun. I was unfortunately unable to make it, but from what I heard, it was a great time. So I'm really excited to see what the Friends of Maynard Basketball bring in the future. So let's give them a big round of applause. Next, I want to give a special thanks to our basketball game photographer, Ms. Ann Stakowitz. She was at every home game that we had here, all of the playoff games, and she even made it to some of the away games. She took some pictures throughout the fall at our sports events as well. And because of her, we have some great content, action shots of all of our athletes on the athletics website here. So let's give her another round of applause. Next, I want to thank the coaches. These winter coaches are so dedicated to their programs, and I see that every single day. They work so hard. They have the student athlete's best interest at mind all the time. Their passion for Maynard athletics is really undeniable, and I was impressed with the job each of them did this winter, and it was truly a pleasure working with all of them. And, they're just some of the best coaches that we have around here, so let's give them a big round of applause. And last but not least, I want to thank the student athletes. Of course, you're all special kids that work hard in the classroom, in your sports, and you all represent some of the best here in Maynard. Proud of each and every one of you, and I enjoy watching you compete hard, night in and night out. And like I said, I had a great time this winter watching it every single night. So let's give the student athletes a big round of applause. Now, with all that being said, I would like to turn this over to Booster Club Officer Alicia Gallo.
our student athletes in all of our programs. Welcome to the Winter Sports Awards Night, and thank you for joining us. As Mike said, I'm Alicia Gallo, and I'm the treasurer of the Booster Club. We are a volunteer organization that supports all Maynard High School and Fowler Middle School student athletes, with trophies for tonight, letter jackets, annual scholarship opportunities for senior athletes, and then other small funding opportunities for individual teams. Money is raised primarily through concessions at football and basketball, but again, we support all sports. And trophy sponsorships is another way we raise money. We'll also be doing a gift card fundraiser this spring, so be on the lookout for that. You can buy gift cards for graduation, birthdays, or just everyday shopping. And it doesn't cost you any more than a gift card, but it's a great way to support the boosters. We are also very grateful for the volunteers that we had at the Snack Shack this fall and basketball concessions. Though our money, again, is primarily raised through fall and winter sports, this year we're hoping to open the Snack Shack during the spring season for as many softball games and track events as we have volunteers for. So I'm encouraging you, this is where we need your help. If you just have a couple of hours or an hour that you can sign up for any one of the opportunities that we have, Mr. Ria will be sending out a link to the Sign Up Genius. So as often as we can, we'd love to be open so that everybody can stay hydrated and sugared up when you're watching your kids' games. You can find the link for the Sign Up Genius and all other information on our Facebook page, so I encourage you to follow the Maynard Boosters Facebook page. I'm going to take a quick pause and we randomly chose some student athlete seats for a Cafe 641 gift card. And the first one is someone seated in B19. I'm going to choose 2 names of people that volunteered at our snack concession table at basketball for gift cards. So everybody who volunteered is in this bowl. First one is Connor Donnelly. Oh. And the second one is Lisa Oliphant. On the second Wednesday of every month in the Maynard High School Library at 7 p.m. and we're always welcoming new members. But if you'd like to help and meetings just aren't your thing, there are plenty of opportunities for things that you can just do from the comfort of your own home. So just reach out to one of us and we'll find something for you to do to help us. I'd like to thank our trophy sponsors for tonight. The boosters sponsor the trophies, and then we also have some generous sponsors who sponsor some of the select trophies. For the Winter Awards tonight, we'd like to thank the Burke family, Cafe 641, and the Sullivan family. And lastly, we'd like to present our letter jackets. So these jackets are earned by participating in 4 years of the same sport, or 5 years of five varsity seasons in different sports. So the first one goes to Brow Alencar for football and basketball. I also want to thank Kaylee Donahue, she's photographed a number of sports events throughout the year, and she's going to be taking pictures tonight. So a couple of things. When you come up to get your jacket or your award or your trophy, please pause for a second so Kaylee can take a picture. And when the teams are called up for their certificates, now that we have this extra big stage tonight, just stay on the stage so we can get one group photo. The next jacket goes to Joseph Birmingham for soccer. Now we have Nevaeh Duplessis for soccer and basketball. Gavin Mancini for soccer and Lev Sarian for football and basketball. We'll give that to Lev later. And Daniel Terrell for football, basketball, and we also have a jacket for one of our exchange students so she can remember her time at Maynard High School for Alejandra Gomez. So thank you again from the boosters for all your support, whether it's volunteering or buying lots of food at our table. We appreciate it. And now I'll turn it over to Coach Quinn to start the awards.
Good evening. I'm Dave Quinn, the ice hockey coach for the Assabet Maynard Co-op. And I'd like to thank the Booster Club for allowing me to be here tonight to talk about some of your, my, and our players. And I'd just like to start by calling up the players who hopefully these fellows will be here tonight. And I'd like it for Nick and Joe to stay up on the stage with me after I get through your names. Liam Lawton. Not here. Travis Birmingham. Travis is a sophomore for us and got an opportunity to play in some games towards the end of the season. Was a mainstay of our junior varsity program. Thank you. Joey Brown. Not in the house. Okay. Jack Dunton, I know, is here. Jack, along with Travis and a couple other boys, are what we call, thank you, Jack, congratulations, are what we call crossover players. They would play full-time with the junior varsity team in the league over in Westboro, but were solid enough players that would practice with the varsity every day. So these guys are getting a lot of ice time. Quentin Mylon. Even though Quentin isn't here, I'd like to say something about him tonight. He's a senior. Quentin came to us as a freshman and was pretty much a non-skater. And we have a developmental program that we keep anybody that wants to come out for ice hockey, we'll keep them if they want to play. And a lot of kids will try. My own son tried out as a freshman and couldn't cut it, decided he didn't want to keep going. Quentin stayed with it and made himself into a decent player, was able to play with the junior varsity program this year, and it's too bad that he's not here because I want him to be recognized for the effort and inspiration he actually is to some of the other players. Nash Thompson. And Jaime Gonzalez. Joe Birmingham and Nick Tenaglia. The hockey players that you see in front of you tonight, whether it be with the junior varsity or varsity, but these four guys have been part of something that was fairly historic in the Aspet Maynard hockey program. When the state tournament developed by the MIAA changed last season, our program was coming off a pandemic year. We didn't have an ice hockey team two full years ago. So we got thrown into a big pile of teams from all over the state. We were coming off a season in which we, again, didn't have a team. We had lost some good players from that group of seniors who didn't get an opportunity to play. I always feel bad for the kids that are here that are sophomores or older. They lost a season of ice hockey. So what you see here, the performance that these kids have put on with our ice hockey program over the last 2 years has been really, again, I said, historical. We've won 28 games over the last 2 seasons. We qualified for the MIAA Division IV state tournament, and it was just, our program just really took off, in large part to at least 2 of the players to my left, Nick and Joe. I was talking to Coach Howes just a few minutes before this program started, and I went to high school at Hudson High School back in the 60s, and it was always the 4 teams that would always be battling it out tooth and nail almost in every sport except for ice hockey were Hudson, Marlboro, Maynard, Clinton, and you could throw Milford in there too. And I've always had an affinity for Maynard, especially since I've been involved with the Aspet Valley coaching with the ice hockey, because our Maynard players are always the ones that will give us a little bit more grit than some of the kids that come from other towns. That's why I'm happy to come here tonight and always have that feeling about Maynard and about the players that we have. So we started off the season this year after losing some really good leadership from Maynard players last year. We made it to the Elite 8 of the MIAA tournament last year. We lost 5 really good, top-notch players. There was a lot of empty space, a leadership void, if you will, and a talent void coming into this season. We started the year 1 win out of our first 5 games. Nobody was angry, nobody was upset. Everybody kept the nose to the grindstone and kept working and working and working. And again, thanks to the kids up on this stage, because it all goes to the players. We rattled off 9 wins in a row. Got ourselves back in the thick of the Russell Conference race. Ended up finishing the season overall at 14 wins and 8 losses. And it was just really a heck of a season. We lost to a good Amesbury team in the first round of the MIAA tournament. Nothing to be ashamed of. We won the Joseph Bushnell tournament in Fitchburg during the winter, over Christmas time, and we finished second in the Central Mass Division B tournament to Grafton High School, which went on to do great things in the Division IV tournament, MIAA. So we had a really successful season. And if I may take 1 more minute to tell you about the 2 fellows here, both of these gentlemen, Nick and Joe, were recognized by my fellow Central Mass ice hockey coaches in the Russell Conference. Nick was named to the honorable mention squad for his performance this year, penalty killer, power play, and he was the recipient of, we were joking about this after the very last game, and I think you know what I'm going to talk about. He's a recipient of one of my greatest coaching inspiration speeches when Nick came to me at the beginning of last year. And he said, "Coach, I think I should be playing more. What do I need to do?" And in my infinite wisdom, I said, "You just need to play better." And so he did. And he took off and played really, really hard. Had a great season last year playing on our #1 line. He was there because he was defensively responsible and cashed in on a lot of goals because he was in the right place at the right time. This year, his season was outstanding from the get-go. Penalty killer, power play member, first line member, and just was just a really, really top-notch guy that we could count on throughout the whole season. So I'd like to have Nick get a round of applause. Joe B., as he is known in the hockey program, really put together his best year. He came on the scene as a freshman, played varsity right away, a lot of physical skills. But Joe was always really hard on himself. And one of the things that he was able to accomplish this year was to do his best to turn the page when he didn't perform up to the expectations that he set for himself. And it was a really nice thing as his coach to watch the growth, watch the maturation that Joe displayed throughout the season. He has great hands, he's a good skater, and when it came time to nominate all-star players, there were 7 teams in the Russell Conference. And that meant out of all those 7 teams, we could choose only 12 forwards. And it came down to the last 2 or 3 forwards, and I was in there pitching for Joe. And then I recognized that so far we had only chosen 4 defensemen out of the 6. Throughout our season on the penalty kill, Joe had played defense, showed a real good nose for the puck, had, again, great hands and a good skater, and above all, was really passionate about any time he was put on the ice. He would play anywhere as long as he could be on the ice. And so towards the last couple of weeks of the season, we lost some players off the team for various times, for injuries and other situations that weren't really good for us. And Joe said, "Coach, I'll play defense if you need me." And it became a common theme, and we put him back there, and it was much to our benefit. And it hurt the other teams that we were playing because Joe got the puck, they couldn't get away from him. So Joe made the All-Star team as a defenseman. And again, without these 2 kids, the season this year was a total team effort. There's no question about that. But if you took any one of these 2 guys off that varsity team, I firmly believe we would not have done as well as we do. We might have done close, but we would have been missing a lot. So again, congratulations, Joe. It was a really fun season, and I appreciate, again, the last thing is the gamesmanship. When the Assabet kids and the Maynard kids got together at a lot of our games over the last couple of seasons, it really helped our team. So please keep coming. Thank you very much.
Next up, we'll do the certificates and the All-Stars for the boys varsity basketball team.
I'm going to say a few words about our team. Before I do that, full disclosure, I'm a proud graduate of Maynard High School. But as my players know, this is not one of my favorite nights. Individual awards, we certainly don't preach that. love my team, love how tough they were, love how coachable they were, the character that they built, the friendships that we built, and the sacrifices that we made for one another. It gets a little counterintuitive for me when we do all that, and then we gotta come towards the end and give out individual awards. Not to mention, in that wonderful high school experience of mine, I got 0 awards in high school. So if anyone walks away upset tonight, they can talk to me. And to make it worse, my wife and my brother, they had to back up a truck to get all of their awards. So don't feel bad for you guys that don't quite get the awards. But really just so lucky to have such a great group of kids. And I know I say this every year, but you know, we talk about thrill of victories and agonies of defeat, and certainly we had some amazing, thrilling victories this year. Not to mention Tingsboro, Clinton, Elver at Lunenburg, Hudson, Sutton, and out at Pioneer Valley, to name a few. But like every team and every year, we had some tough ones, right? We had some tough defeats early on in our scrimmages against D1 teams, Acton Boxborough, Lincoln Sudbury, Waltham. Made a trip to Neshoba to play a really good Division II Neshoba team, and then split with Hudson, but lost over there to a really good Division III team. So I really thought the culture that we built was amazing, and to me, it's all about our seniors and our senior leaders. We just are so lucky every year to have tremendous senior leadership, and we'll talk a little bit about those kids tonight. On the court, we were obviously successful with 15 wins and 8 losses. Kind of an interesting fact is we only lost once at Maynard High School, and that was December 20th. And we played right up until about the middle of March, so you know, we went 3 solid months without losing a game here at Maynard High School. Our kids buy in to our goals, which are really simple, right? We just want to improve every day, right? We don't know if we're going to win, but we know if we just come and work and look to improve every day that good things will happen to us. And it certainly did as we advanced, as Mike said, to the Final Four. Our 6th appearance in the Massachusetts State Final Four, and our 5th Final Four in the last 8 years. So we're just very lucky to have the kids that we have. We don't have the biggest school. We have about 186 boys here, as everybody knows, and we lost to Taconic, a school of 830 kids. So you can thank the MIA for their division of schools, putting a team like Taconic in Division 5. But we'll get back. We'll get back at them. When I think about this year, I think about not only the stuff that we did on the court, but what this group in particular did off the court. We have a tremendous partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of Assabet Valley, in particular under the great leadership of Nikki Tyler, where we do a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Clubs. And my players volunteered over 100 hours for the Maynard Youth Basketball Program in a variety of capacities. We think this is a huge part. We talk about our way all the time, and our kids giving back to those in a manner that they were lucky enough to have years ago is something that makes me really, really proud. It allows them to act as mentors, and we think that's extremely important. I'd like to recognize Mark Stakowitz tonight. He does an amazing job leading roughly 90 kids every Saturday morning in grades kindergarten 1 and 2, and that's where a lot of our 100 hours go every Saturday. But I'd also like to recognize Julie March and the work that she does in the recreation department and the Tri-Town basketball where our kids also do an amazing amount of work every Saturday. We do a lot in practice, Sunday to Friday, between practice and games, and for the kids to give the hours that they give on Saturdays allows us, I think, to be as good as we are every year. And Mike mentioned the Friends of Maynard Basketball. I've been doing this for over 25 years, and I've never had an organization like that behind us doing the things that they do. And I'd really like to recognize Julie March, Ian Stakowicz, Chelsea DeRobert, Liz Fumacello, Jen Long, Jen Lloyd, Courtney Lawton, Amy Price, Alana McLaughlin, and Tracy Fowler for a job very, very well done. So what does it all mean, right, for us on the court success and off the court success? You know, we are lucky enough to have the greatest stakeholders, you know, any coach could ask for, right? With the Boys and Girls Club behind us, the coaches that we have, I am extremely lucky to have the crew of coaches that I have behind me. Nick Palicki, who's a head football coach, Ian Fowler, who played for me at a very high level and was very successful, and Kyle House, who played at the Division II level. Just very, very lucky to have coaches like that working with these kids every day, and I'm extremely lucky to have the parents that we have behind us, right? Everybody just working hard to ensure these kids have an amazing experience. So I just want to make sure that you all know that there's a lot that goes into this, but if I didn't have the parents, if I didn't have the players, if I didn't have the coaches, and if I didn't have the Boys and Girls Club, this job wouldn't be as easy as it is. And I want to thank everybody that's been helpful there. At this point, I'd like to take a moment to honor my seniors. And at the end of the day, coaches can come up here and talk all they want, but if you don't have really, really good senior leadership, you're just not going to have a very, very good year. So I'd like my seniors to come stand. Michael Datavi. Rayo Alencar. Years of me calling him Braille, and that's not going to stop. So it's different. Ryan Cedeno. Nolan Courier. Will Stakowicz. And Lev Sarian. Lev's sick tonight, so we certainly miss him. But these seniors, you know, when I was putting down some notes about these guys, it starts with the fact that they're tremendously good citizens. Great teammates for their entire 4 years here at high school. And for them, every single one of them would always put the team first. Never, ever did any one of these 6, including Lev, come into my office and start talking about themselves or individual stuff. It was always about what is it going to take for our team to be really, really good. And as a result, we talk a lot about authenticity all the time with these kids, the ability to look in the mirror and see what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and there's nobody better than these 6 guys. And as a result, I'm lucky enough to have them, and now they're lucky enough to say that they're part of the winningest sports program in Maynard High School. Awesome job. A couple things about them individually. Mike Datavi, the season that wasn't, right? Torn ACL in football, captain of this team. I'm not big on predictions, but we would have had a shot, right? If Mike didn't get hurt, we would have had a really, really good shot at pulling this thing off again this year. And I know that because of the way we played last summer against all the D1 and D2 teams that we play in our summer league. But you gotta know, he didn't miss one practice, didn't miss one game, was at every single event that we had, even though he knew there was no chance for him to play. And I think, that says huge things about him and his mom and his dad and his family. So I love the kid, but deep down I know what could have been, right? What could have been. Ryan Cedeno, we're going to talk about Ryan a little bit later, but what you'll find out about him is, amongst other things, being one of the best defenders in our league all year long. Will Stakowicz, going to talk about him a little bit later, but you'll find out, I talk about our way. There's nobody that epitomizes our way more than Will Stakowicz. Being fundamentally sound, being tough, and being classy. There's absolutely nobody. And Lev Sarian, right? Lev, I was talking to his mom today, doesn't play a lot, but again, he's at every practice, every game, working as hard as everybody else. But as I tell the players, you might be a better basketball player than Lev, but you're going to be working for Lev someday. Most of you probably know Lev has been accepted at Northeastern on a full academic scholarship. He's waiting to hear from Harvard. He's waiting to hear from Princeton. I know Nick and Juliana, you guys are in Northeastern as well, so I don't want to say that he's the greatest, but there's a few kids here that are in the upper echelon of academic success. And Lev was recognized as a lead all-academic award winner for Maynard. So, and then my last two seniors, right? My last two seniors, Abreu and Nolan. Abreu, Alan Carr, and Nolan, again, I don't like talking about individual stuff, but the best two basketball players in our program this year. And they were recognized that way by our fellow coaches as League All-Stars. So congratulations. Little note on the All-Stars, there's 10 All-Stars. Nolan was the number 2 vote getter in the entire league, and our league was pretty good. And Abreu was number 6 in the entire league. Little footnote for my next year players: of the 10 All-Stars, 7 of them are underclassmen, so we got a lot of work to do. We got an awful lot of work to do. So, just so my kids know, so the MVP was Owen Bridell for Clinton. All-Stars were Bryce Goulet from Tingsboro, Nolan from Maynard, Jackson O'Brien from Hudson, Miles Seminatori from Lunenburg, and Abdel Sabata from Clinton. And then we had Abreu from Maynard, Jay Gadaway from Hudson, Anthony Nicosa from Tingsboro, Davis Lund from Clinton, and Cam Grady from Clinton. So, really, really, really good players. At this time, Krista, do we have Nick for the seniors? Can you come? Give me a hand. Come on. Where's the photographer? Did you get a picture of Kyle? What? Yeah, right up in front. Put those right on his elbow. Right. Easy. You guys are staying up here. Those are great thanks to Ian Stakowitz for putting those together. Really cool trophies. Obviously our team picture, we happen to fit in our state championship banners behind it, and then underneath it our slogan of our way. So thank you so much, Ian, for all your help on that. At this point, we will give our letter men. Right? Are we onto that, Mike? Are we giving the letter? But before we do that, Kyle, can you come up and say a good few words about the team, and then we'll rattle off these players. You know? Can I hand these out? So for our junior class, Aiden Donahue. Danielle Terrell. Blake Dreskin. And Ryan McLaughlin. Our sophomore class, Will Fowler. Cody March. Malaki Kamiti. Dylan Gallo. And our freshman class, Edie Fall. Get a picture of it. We going up front or are we staying behind the... Up front. We gotta move up front to get a picture. Thank you, Coach House. Next up, we'll have girls varsity basketball.
I'm going to try. So let's see the overview of the 2022-23 season. First and foremost, we have to thank the Booster Club for all the work that they do. I really appreciate, as well as the team appreciates everything that you guys do. I'd like to thank Mike Aria, our AD, for all the hard work that he puts everything together for all our games and stuff like that. Friends of Maynard Basketball, Julie, can you please come up to the podium? As my husband said, we've never really had a Friends of in our back pocket, but now that we do, I just want to thank her for every single thing that they do. It's been awesome to have this group. We've had pizza on the bus, we've had sandwiches, it's been like really, really fun. So, Julie, I want to thank you for everything. I'd like to also thank Ann Stakowitz. Ann, come on up. Many of you guys know that we do not have a trainer at Maynard High School, and I had 3 girls that went down with ankle injuries this season. So Ann Stakowitz did all the taping for all our kids, every single game, every single practice. She was there to tape up the girls, as well as our personal photographer. It was just, she comes up with every game, after every game she has a personal photo album. It's just amazing. I just want to thank her very much. I'd like to also thank the parents of the girls on the squad. My parents do a lot of work for this program that we put out. Last summer actually, we had 4 Summer League girls teams go into play at Lincoln Sudbury, actually the field house in Sudbury. And a lot of the backbone of it comes from the parents coaching, driving the kids there. We had probably, I think, 36 kids play in that summer league, which is a good group for our program. They all did really, really well, but without the parents, the programs, and that summer league would have never happened. And all your support throughout the year, I want to thank you very much for that. My coaches, Denise, she couldn't come tonight, so I want to just thank her for all that she does. She's also my assistant coach. Betty Mack, the middle school coach, she's also not here tonight. My husband, Paul, he has to listen to me after every practice and every game from December 1st until mid-March. It's kind of hard when he wins and I lose, but we seem to manage everything. So, let's overview of the season. Record 9-11, not bad for the league that we play in. We have a very, very young team. We only had 3 seniors this year. 2 that actually just came out this year. So we've really just had 1 seasoned player on our squad. We ranked 9th out of 92 teams in the state of Massachusetts in Division 5. We lost in the first round of 32 in the state tournament, which we actually did last year as well. So we have to get over that hump of that first loss, and I think next year we definitely will do that. So we practice every day. We sometimes go Sundays through Fridays. But we round out the practice with foul shots. Then we head to the middle of the court. We call this Tiger Time. During Tiger Time, we talk about the team, our goals, life in general, or anything that needs to be voiced on that day. One of the goals this year was to make the first Clark tournament for the girls at Clark University. The second goal was to make the state tournament, which we accomplished both feats. I have to say that this team this year goes down in my book as one of my favorite teams to coach. I had my 2017 coach, which we won the Central Mass tournament for the first time ever. But this team that I had this year compares unbelievably with that team. So I would like to call up my seniors, which Ella Rowe is not here tonight because she's sick at home. But I have Juliana and Hannah McLaughlin. I'd like you to come forward. So Ella's been with the program for pretty much all her life. She played all 4 years, varsity, sophomore, junior, and senior year. These 2 here came on my court at the beginning of the year, and I said, whoa, who are you guys? But anyway, they came onto this team, and it was like a breath of fresh air. I absolutely love these 2. They are like just amazing, and they brought so much to the team. But I would like to thank my seniors. And I would like to thank all my players for an awesome season. This team was a team. They laughed, cried, hugged, solved all Maynard High School's issues throughout the season. They would arrive 30 minutes before practice each and every day. I'd walk in the locker room to get the basketballs, and all I would hear when I opened that door was laughter. This was truly a team that loved each other. This team was led by Captain Ella Rowe, who's been in our program for 4 years. She has seen her captains before lead their teams, but somehow she decided to lead her team differently. She led it as a family. Juliana and Hannah, like I said, tried out for the season, for the team this year. I've never coached them before, but again, what a breath of fresh air they've been for this team. The two rounded out Ella's family atmosphere for the team. I tell them every day, where have you guys been all my life? Great kids. Parents, you should be very proud of all of them. So with that being said, I'd like to give out the certificates with the help of my 3 seniors. So when you come up and call your name, stay up on the stage, okay? Oh, wait a minute, I have to give out the pictures too, sorry. You ruined it. All right, so I'm not doing this till the end, it's gonna mess me up. Okay, so girls varsity. We have Ella Rowe, who's not here today. Freshman Kaylee Currier. Sophomore Nevaeh Duplessis. Junior Tessa Gilligan. Alejandra. Junior Nina Chiodo. Chiodo is my mom. Sophomore Shannon Kelly. Sophomore Emily Chow. Senior Juliana Tegna. Sophomore Pete Hannah Peters. Freshman Catherine Stakowitz. Senior Hannah Laughlin. Freshman Hannah Hopper Moore. All right, so this is our team right here. So we have 3 seniors. Like I said, Ella's not here. So we would like to give you something from our house to your house, which would be your dorm room when you guys go off to college. But where you can see us and remember us. And don't forget your senior years on the basketball court, and always remember our way. Thank you.
So last year, it was such a big deal, being the first year for having our indoor track program. And now in the second year, it really does just get down to getting training and racing. This year it was kind of great that I have to admit that the winter was pretty warm and dry. That allowed us to stay on the track and allowed me to not get arrested trying to illegally shovel the track, snow off the track. But I'm honestly impressed with the toughness of this year's team. We lost a lot of seniors last year, but that didn't really slow this team down. I asked both the distance teams and the sprint teams to get outside and do some workouts in the freezing rain, extreme cold, and I barely heard a complaint. Well, maybe heard a couple complaints, but everyone still went out and did it, so I always appreciate that. To be able to handle the bad weather and to endure it, it really does speak volumes to the toughness of the athlete that goes out there. I mean, everyone else sits at home, nice and warm, watching some TV, and they're out there in the snow, in the rain, running in 20, 30-degree weather. And I think they've heard me say this before, but if they can endure that terrible weather, they can endure the pain of a race and anything else that they have to endure in their lives. All right, so I'd like to talk a little bit about our seniors. We had 5 seniors this year: Isabella Wellington, Evan Moore, Gabe Arroyan, Will Fallon, and Rose Mendez. Yeah, stay standing. Just wanted to talk quick about what you guys bring to the team and what I really do appreciate. Isabella, I really appreciate that you finally joined us on your senior year, and not before that. I would have really liked to have you last year. But it was great to have you on the team, and I like what you brought to the team, your energy. And Evan, I really enjoyed having you on the team, and I enjoyed how long I've had you with me over the years. Back when you were about like this tall. And you've and I always like your energy that you bring to the team. I don't want to get into too much more, like Gabe and Rose, got you for another season in spring track, and Evan. And I'm sure we'll get some more talking there, because it'll be a little more emotional for me on your last season. The two of them, especially Evan, Rose, and Gabe, have been around since I've been a coach. And they've been there since the beginning for me. So this is the last crew that when they graduate, it's the last crew that's been there when I first arrived. So that means a lot to me. So it'll be a very emotional next season spring track. But thank you for what you bring and the leadership you bring to the team. As a captain and not a captain, I think all the kids always look to you for guidance and leadership. And you brought that really well this year, so thank you. All right, so I'd like to bring up who the All-Stars are. For this year, we have 4 All-Stars that get the pins. This is stuff that you won your race at our league meet, or that you were voted in by the coaches. So the 4 we have this year are Gabe Arroyan, Henry Sullivan Dale, Sylvia Smith, and the one last runner who won the league meet, became league champion, Izzy Burke. We also have 2 academic all-stars that we vote on from the coach, and coaches can decide these ones. And we gave them to Rose Mendez and Evan Moore. We are now going to do the certificates for the team. There are a lot of names here, so we're going to just read them off. Please come on up right away and just grab them as we go. We have Gabe Arroyan, Evan Moore, Will Fallon, Sean Leahy, Harry Lanichuk, Gavin Mancini, Henry Sullivan, Will Cahill, Alex Watts, Lucas Hogan, Jackson Severance, David Schwinn, Conrad Schutzer, Jackson Caldwell, we also have Andrew Cloutier, Brady DeVito, John Gomes, Thomas Waldron, and John Michael Waldron. Now, there's one names here. If I missed you, please let me know so I can get your certificate. I think I got everyone, but you never know. That's the boys' team. All right, for the girls' team, we have Maya Royan, Izzy Burke, Natalie Champion, Allison Sharon, Angie Croft, Brianna Junta, Rose Mendez, Reagan Murray, Clara Scopoletti, Sylvia Smith, Isabel Wellington, Amy Bollier, Sirius Cahill, Arabella Caldwell, Victoria Caldwell, Lauren Crossland, Katie Donahue, Johanna Dunlop, Izzy Friedman, Mika Flieger, Maya Terrell, Emily Ducroix, Sarah Elford, Lauren Elford, Sydney Antonio. There's some people who are a part of the team who didn't race but were still part of the team with us. Yeah, other people who worked out with us also is Delilah Bacon, Maeve Bartlett, and anyone else who's joined us, who was part of the team, who come on up if I did not say your name, because you were part of the team training, even if you did not race.
Next, we will have the presentation of the certificates for the boys JV basketball team.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ian Fowler. I'm the boys JV basketball coach. We enjoyed a successful 10-6 season in our competitive mid-wash league. As you'd expect a season to go, we had many highs and we had many lows. Those highs that I'm mentioning, and my team will know exactly what I mean when I start to say this, is when everything we're doing is just clicking, when everything we're doing is just seems like we can't go anything wrong. The opposing team had no answer for us. We were able to achieve those highs for the main reason, and in our case it was 16. We had 16 guys on the team buying into our system and what we were running. When we had 5 guys on the court putting maximum effort in, and then 11 more on the bench putting just as much energy into cheering them on and getting the momentum going on our side, that's how we achieved those highs. that was the main takeaway from the season that I had and what this team taught me. Basketball isn't always the talent or the athleticism on the court. When you have an entire team buying into what you work on, that is truly how you become the best team you could possibly be. And I probably sound like a broken record to my team at this point when I say this. I've had many guys last year that reached out to me for help through the off season, after season, what they can work on. And one of the biggest gifts this is my second year coaching, one of the biggest gifts I had this year was seeing how they improved, especially the guys that took the time to reach out to me, and I know clearly worked on it with that off season. They made a great impact. Some on my team, some with Coach Chaz at the varsity level, and made an amazing impact and took an amazing leap forward. So I wanted to point that out. I've mentioned it many times, but please, I encourage you to reach out to me. I love doing this because I like being a tool for you guys. And thank you. That's all I have. I believe we have letters, right? Certificates. First we have Tommy Lawton. Next we have Anwar Alvarez. Told you he was coming. Max Sanya. Alex DeRobert. Giuseppe Molinara. Matthew Lucas. Zachary Rivers Wright. Jackson Wilkinson. Jackson Price. Ricardo Guarnini. Alex Mendez. Oh, Damon Clark. Jonathan Lima. Not here.
Okay, so girls JV. First and foremost, I forgot to do my All-Stars and my academic awards, so I'm going to do that right now. Tessa Gilligan, you got, come on up. You got first All-Star team. You got all the votes from all the coaches. Very amazing. Good job. And the academic award for the league goes to Juliana. Okay, so Denise couldn't make it. She had a death in the family, so I'm here speaking on her behalf. So my apologies for missing tonight's ceremony. This group of athletes certainly deserve my kudos and thanks for such a fun season. Boys. Our 7-10 record represents a season of learning, adapting, and overcoming several injuries and adapting to the mid-season addition of 3 varsity players to our team. Our early season struggles against teams such as Oakmont, Hudson, Acton, Boxborough led to a stronger second half, capped off by a stunning win over Tingsboro, a team who beat us in the first meeting by 14 points. In our second meeting, we overcame a 13-point deficit at the half to come out on top by just a bucket. Such a fun game. Thanks to Hannah Peters, Emily Chow, and Shannon Kelly for pulling double duty and helping our team when we really needed some extra players. Shout out to our 4 8th graders, Riley Rashi, Abby Carlon, Carlin, Haley Carroll, and Haley DeRobert for stepping up and making our team stronger. Keep playing. You are the future of the Maynard girls basketball program. Thank to you, Rachel Briggs, Harper Diamore, and Riley Green for your hard work, dedication, and leadership. Joy, I'm sorry you were unable to play more this season, but your fantastic attitude and dedication to the team, despite not being able to play, is a lesson for everyone. Last, thank you to Alejandra for your fierce competitiveness and bringing with you your love of basketball. My thanks to Kristen, who's a great leader of Maynard Girls Basketball. Thanks to Mike Maria and the building principals for your support. So, I'll read off the girls. Riley Green. Joy. Abby. Haley Carroll. Rachel Briggs. Riley Rashi. Haley DeRobert.
Good evening. I would like to first congratulate all winter sports teams on successful seasons. I'd like to thank our administration, Coach House, and our parents for their support all season long. I truly enjoyed coaching this group of young men this season. The success of our season should be measured through the growth and development these players displayed throughout the year. Day in, day out, they competed, challenged each other, and bought into the culture that we try to instill. As Coach House noted earlier, we stand in the huddle after every practice and we say our way. And that was pretty tough on the group. I explained to them that that's not just a catchphrase or a slogan. It's a belief system and a value system that this basketball program identifies itself by. So I was hard on this group to get that. And I want to give them credit because for a young group of 7th and 8th graders, they continued to believe it every single day. They grew as much as any group I've had in 10, 12 years, whatever I've been doing this. So I was extremely impressed with their willingness to buy into what we're preaching, compete at the level that we expect them to. Each and every one of them are at every high school game when we play, at least when we play at home, and they're there cheering them on, understanding that that's where they're headed. So I really had a great time working with this group. Great 17 boys, great group of kids. They really do have a bright future of basketball ahead of them. So at this point, I'll announce our team. Lance Buckles. Matthew Berman. Danny Carroll. Miles Moore. Odell Daniel. Levi Derome. Arthur Diaz. Jalen Donahue. Hunter Funicello, Jacoby Long, Connor Noble, Noah Pena, Thomas Stakowitz, Nicholas Stratikis, Ethan Talcott, Christian Tomaz Hall. That's it.
Middle school girls. Betty could not make it tonight. I just have that it's been my pleasure working with such a great group of girls. But I know these girls. These girls are a great group of young ladies in the 7th grade. They played in my summer league this summer under the Jamie Carroll coached them. So they've done a very good group of girls, growing, getting stronger each and every year. Fundamentals are getting better. So I look forward to coaching them soon, and it was kind of tough on them this year because, you know, we pulled the 8th graders up to the JV's squad just for the numbers, but keep working at it, girls. You're I look forward to having you guys come up next year to the JV level. Summer League again, so I know your season was good. You got a few wins, but I thank you all for playing, and I appreciate everything that the parents on that group did for us this year. So here are the girls. Let's see, Jalen. Ashley Carroll. Alita DeCosta. Evelyn Neelan. Ophelia Donnelly. Lily Harrison. Madeline Carlin, Leah Rivers Wright, Sarah Schwinn, Isabella Shue, Shaylin Sweeney, sick of coming to this podium, hello. So, unsung hero for girls basketball this year. This play is a coach's dream. Not only is she quick, but she's very athletic. She scored 148 points this year. She's been in the program pretty much all her life. She can play any position on the floor. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 5. This year she was asked to play multiple positions, the 5 or the 3. When I first told her she'd be playing the 5, she kind of looked at me and said, okay. Okay, meaning she wasn't sure of that, but she worked hard every day and only got better and better. She never once thought of herself. She only thought, what can I do for the team? She's very tenacious on defense, averaging over 4 steals per game. She's always asked to defend the best player on the other team because she's just very good at defense. I'm very happy to say that she'll be around for another year as well. So this year's Unsung Hero is Nina Chiodo. By the way, she was voted on this by her peers, so they think highly of her. Pictures?
All right, so I'm gonna go with the unsung hero, start with the boys. So this gentleman, this athlete always wants to train, always wants to work. He has the attitude that I always want everyone in the team to embody. I call him the unsung hero because he quietly scored a lot of points for the team while he was running the relay or the hurdles. The unsung hero goes to somebody I'll be watching a lot this year, Alex Watts. All right, so this young lady here, this athlete I wish I had since she was a freshman, instead of getting her as a senior. Where were you all these years? Actually, I wasn't here, so it doesn't matter. So she put so much effort into her sprints, it would look like she was throwing herself across the track. So indoor track can actually be kind of intimidating, especially if it's your first time. But she took it in stride and became an important member of the 4x2 relay team. The unsung hero goes to Miss Isabella Wellington.
Okay, for the middle school girls unsung hero, I had to ask for a lot of independence from this middle school athlete, and she worked really hard as she could to try to succeed. There are a lot of events in indoor track and only a couple of coaches, so this young athlete would often need to work independently without a direct coach really telling them how to improve, and only sometimes. But she did it anyway. This year's middle school girls unsung hero goes to Emmy Duprat.
Our unsung hero goes to a selfless player that always did whatever was asked of him, always putting the team first. This player is not concerned with individual stats, but rather always willing to do the things that don't show up in the box score. Every successful team needs a player that possesses the intangibles of this young man. Congratulations to our unsung hero, Tommy Stafford.
Unsung Hero Award for middle school goes to a player who's committed to the sport, who has shown her dedication to the team by attending practices even when she's injured and constantly pushing her teammates. She would be the first one warming up and the last one to leave. This year's Unsung Hero Award goes to Leah Rivers-Wright.
Unsung hero for varsity boys basketball team. So this individual was really the leader of our defense. So to give you some statistics here, we held opponents to under 10 two-point field goals 17 times. Only 2 teams scored more than 10 three-point field goals, Lunenburg and Neshoba, and only 1 team scored over 20 two-point field goals. And Ryan Cedeno. That's pretty on target for Ryan. But, so in case you missed it, Ryan, I said you were the leader of our defense, and you were an absolute menace on the defensive side of the floor. And he's a top 25 scorer in the league, and really, made a major impact on this team, and he really deserves this award. So, Ryan Cedeno.
All right, so the Coach's Award. So this boy here has a lot of talent. Last year, I think he surprised himself and the rest of the coaches during practice when we did a time trial, and he ran a 400-meter with 55 seconds, and he slowed down. First time running it, which is pretty fast. This year, he dominated the league in 300 meters and was the fastest member of the 4x2 team. He was just shy of the top scorer position, because he decided to go to Canada instead of making the last meet, but that's another story. We'll talk about that later. But he was one of the most critical members of the team. This year's Coach's Award goes to Henry Sullivan. So for the ladies, so you might start to see a theme here across the athletes that get nominated because of their consistency to work hard. This runner might be one of the ones that embodies this the most with her traits. She showed up to practice in all types of bad weather, whether it was hot, well, it was never hot, it was cold. She led the sprinters for me, which is no easy task since they were all so young. I'm glad to know I have one more year to work with her. I think she knows who she is. I think her mother knows who too. And help her achieve her goals. I am blessed to have her in this team, to work with her. The Coach's Award goes to Brianna.
All right, for the middle school boys coaches award. I think this was an easier choice for me than I've had in previous years. The student has worked hard all season. It really helped solidify our 2-mile event. He had multiple PRs during the season, and I see that trend continuing years going forward. I look forward to seeing what he's able to accomplish in a few more years. This year's Middle School Coaches Award goes to Conrad Schulter.
All right. No, this one's, okay, so what can I say about this one here? This is a good one right here. She's one of the smallest on the team this year, but also one of the fastest. She's one of my favorites. She's only in the middle school, but she bumped out some of the older runners because she was just spot on fast, and she deserved it. And I had to put her in the varsity lineup. While sometimes she would give me a frown, we know who she is. I think the rest of the team knows who she is. She was willing to do the best that I need her to, for this team to succeed, and she was a major part of this team. So the middle school award goes to Miss Clara.
Our Coaches Award goes to a player that showed up every day and did exactly what was asked of him. While he was generally the smallest player on the court, his toughness and drive to compete were always at the highest level. This young man is a terrific teammate and embodies what coaches look for in their players. Congratulations to our Coaches Award recipient, Connor Noble.
Coaches Award is the toughest one to award, as every single player deserves it for a different reason. With that being said, the recipient of this award is a player who is willing to volunteer herself for any task requested. Her outstanding character was seen when she volunteered to have the mismatched jersey when she didn't have to. In fact, she could have picked any other jersey but chose not to. She's kind, polite, and hardworking. She is the player that any coach would be happy to have on their team. This year's recipient of the Coaches Award goes to Lily Harrison.
Boys Varsity Coaches Award. Any one of our 6 seniors would be an outstanding choice for our Coaches Award. And quite frankly, it's pretty difficult to differentiate one of them. But having to do that, I certainly can pick what I believe is probably one of the best Coaches Awards that we've ever given it out. And for us, the Coaches Award is a program award. It's an award that a player is willing to do anything for the program at any level, whether it be at the very young ages or at the middle school, at the JV, or at the varsity level. And our winner this year of the Varsity Coaches Award is Will Stackovitz. Will embodies what we talk about all the time, which is to be a team first guy, to do always what's best for the team. Most of the people that win this award, I talk about the fact that they have been involved and working with and for the program for 12 years, but Will has been in the program since the 5th grade, so I think that puts him certainly past that. He's a great leader of our program, a person that represents our value system, that our way notion, and a personality that's always, always, always on. And one of the things that if you've come to any of our games, you'll notice that I can have a tendency to get distracted or get maybe in trouble, and Stack is the one person reeling me in. So his knowledge of the game is very, very good, and that obviously comes from his dad and his grandfather, who's a legendary Hall of Fame coach from Lunenburg High School. And it doesn't hurt that he and all the seniors take very good care of my grandson, Bo. So I can't be more proud of the seniors, but Will in particular, congratulations.
Coaches Award for this year, girls basketball. She scored 94 points this year. This young lady has really matured this year, not only as a player, but also as a person. She worked hard this summer as a player and evolved as a very good three-point shooter over the course of the season. She got 23 pointers, which last year I don't think we got one, maybe two, so it's an improvement from last year. But it wasn't her basketball play that impressed me this year. It was how she decided to captain this team. She's a very quiet person, but a very powerful person. I was very impressed with her leadership. Everyone was part of the team. Everyone was involved. Everyone cared. As a coach, some years you get teams that you love to coach, and some years you get teams that, well, let's just say you're happy when the season's over. This year's team, I really didn't want the season to end. Ella has changed the culture of girls basketball in one season. She's made each and every girl welcome from the 7th grade up to the 12th grade. She's also made them work hard and to be very proud of being a Maynard basketball player. As I said before, very quiet, but very powerful. I would say Ella will go down in my books as one of the great captains that has come through Maynard High School. Ella, I know you're home, I know you're sick, but I thank you not only for your leadership this season, but also for your talent and dedication to the program. I give you this year's Coaches Award recipient.
All right, so most improved. At the start of the season, I knew we were going to be a little low in the shot putters. And this student joined us, and I got to watch him throughout the whole season and see him improve. Over the whole season, he became the top shot putter on the team and helped the team score much needed points. This year's most improved goes to Mr. Will Fallon, who's not here, but thank you, Will. All right, so this next person, I remember talking to Coach B. He told me that when he first met this athlete, she came to him and said that her plan was to break the school record in the mile, which she will do. And this is the first year where I'm starting to really see her making progress in that goal. Coach B and I all season were talking about it. We were saying how excited we were with her this year in indoor, especially with the spring coming up. She pushed herself pretty hard, sometimes a bit too much, and had a constant drive for success. If she continues to push this, I see that record falling before she graduates. My acai partner, Coach's Award goes to Miss Sylvia Smith.
All right, for middle school girls, most improved. This athlete joined the team having never run distance before in her life. She started out just running a little bit, but then over time and weeks, she's improved, and quickly enough that she started doing speed workouts and getting faster and faster. I feel like she has a bright future ahead, so this award goes to Carrie Cahill.
Our most improved player goes to a young man with a tremendous work ethic and drive to improve. This player approached every day with the mindset of getting better and proved to be an invaluable member of our team. Congratulations to our most improved player, Danny Carroll.
Tremendous growth throughout the season. She's a player who's willing to step into any role and do so with a smile. You can see her bringing the ball up, hustling back on defense, and even rolling on the ground fighting for the jump ball, but she will never give up on play. This year's Most Improved Award goes to Ophelia O.
Boys varsity, most improved. This individual started off the season on the bench and worked his way up to become a starter. Not only become a starter, but really was a pivotal member of our success. To give some highlights on this individual, in the whole game, in the state tournament, he had over 15 rebounds against Pioneer Valley, had over 15 rebounds and made some critical free throws at the end of the game to seal the deal. On top of that, team first guy, and if you know him, you know he always has a smile on his face, so he's a breath of fresh air to see. Ryan McLaughlin.
Qualify for this award. Maddie Morgan, girl who didn't get to play this season due to medical reasons, she's back now, and we're so excited to see her progress and what next year will bring for her. Nevinator. Nev had an awesome season, averaging 7.4 points per game. Start to finish, each and every practice, she amazed me with her improvement. Looking forward to seeing what she will bring for us next year. Cal, Tom Brady Courier, tough spot to put in a freshman, starting point guard. She handled it like a pro though. Grew into commanding the floor by midseason. 99 points this year, looking forward to big things from her next year. Hannah Peters, Pete, grew into a good player. Didn't realize what a good three-point shooter you were until late in the season. I believe she could be a very good post player if she puts the work in over the summer. This year what we did for a bunch of the girls was to play what's called the 6-quarter rule, which means that you can actually play 6 quarters in one day. So we actually asked 3 girls to do that, and they absolutely wanted to. And so Hannah was one of those girls and actually helped her develop as a player. Emily Chow, she was hurt most of last season. She's developed over the course of the season to become a great dribbler and shooter. Defensively, she's one of those players that other players cannot shake. Emily also was asked to play the 6-quarter rule, which she's blossomed as a player doing this. Harper Diamore, double duty this year. She went to both JV and varsity practices all year long. talk about dedication. It was amazing. So hoping she puts the work in this summer to become a better player. Alejandra, double duty as well. I wish you could stay another year. It was so nice to have you on the team. Shannon, you worked hard all season, also was asked to do the 6-quarter rule. You worked extremely hard and the work has paid off as you've developed into a good player. Looking forward to seeing you for next year. So with all these unbelievable girls, I cannot wait for next year, but I can only choose one for the most improved player. So this year's most improved player goes to a young lady that has impressed me this year with her work ethic. Due to injury, she hasn't played much basketball. Last year, she had a terrific year on the JV squad. This summer, she worked extremely hard to improve her game, which showed. She made varsity as a freshman. She's played every spot except the one. The only time she looked at me funny is when I asked her to go into the game to play the 4. Her defense is amazing, as we have always had her play the best player on the other team when Nina gets tired. She can rebound. She has a tenacity of rebounding and then kicking it out. She has a tendency of rebounding and then kicking it out to her teammates when she's right underneath the hoop. Next year, I'm sure she will become the more offensive-minded and take that shot herself. Hopefully the team we have coming back next year will be awesome if they put the work in like Katie did this past summer. I can only imagine what the list will be. This year's most improved player goes to Katie Stack.
Okay, just want a couple of things before I get to the MVP. All of our awards were voted on by our players, and I can't thank them enough for the excellent judgment that they used. For our most valuable player, I alluded to this a little bit earlier, but there's 2 people that were up for this award, Abreu Alencar and Nolan Currier. As I mentioned earlier, both All-Stars, not only All-Stars, but top 6 vote getters in our league. And I failed to give them their All-Star awards, so I'd like them both to come up to get their All-Star awards. Our most valuable player winner this year is Nolan Currier. Nolan had all the ingredients of a most valuable player, right? A mid-watch Division C All-Star that we talked about, the 4th leading scorer in our league, a tremendous leader, not only in the way he plays basketball, but the way he conducts himself. I would, at the end of every game, the other coach would talk to me about a lot of things, but there wasn't one coach that didn't mention how classy the Currier kid was. Great scorer, both inside and out, mid-range game as well as a three-point game, and a terrific, terrific passer. Coach Kyle gets some credit where he kind of asked him to stop passing and start jacking shots, and if you saw us play late in the year, there was green light material for Nolan, where he was taking shots that he could make from well beyond the arc. Like all of my guys, he's a team first guy. He embraces the process. He's been in the program since those very, very early years, like first grade. He's the captain of our team. Undecided? Still undecided, but will be playing baseball. So my congratulations to an outstanding job. I think this is the last time I come up, so I just wanted to say some closing comments about my team. I loved the opportunity to coach this team. I love the 6 seniors on this team. I love the culture that they created for our team, a culture that was based on our values, based on our people, which created a set of norms for our team that I certainly couldn't do by myself. And we talk all the time about it's not what we say, it's what we do. And those 6 seniors certainly created an amazing, amazing culture. But now that baton gets passed, right? And it gets passed off to our next set of leaders. And with that, I'd like to announce our 2024 captains, Daniel Terrell, given in memory of 2 kids, Jonathan and Philip Beals. As I mentioned to you, I'm a proud graduate of Maynard High School. Those 2 kids played here, were terrific, terrific players, and unfortunately passed at a really, really young age. So this is a really near and dear night for me when we get an opportunity to remember those 2 kids. I can't wait for the 2024 season. We'll be working hard in the spring. Our summer league starts June 19th, and our camp starts June 26th. So thank you to all the seniors, and a tremendous, tremendous effort this year.
I promise this will be my last time coming up here. So, MVP girls basketball. This girl scored 208 points this year. This lady has been in the program all her life. She could potentially play all positions on the court, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Her best position is the 4. An enormous rebounder on the court. Every game, at least one referee would come up to me at some point in the game and say to me, wow, number 10, she's a force on the boards. She would rebound the ball defensively and go coast to coast with a layup. Yes, she could play the 1. She would come off a screen and shoot an elbow shot. Yes, she could play the 3. I think the only thing she didn't do this year is get a 3-point shot in. Only a junior, this lady is an outstanding all-around player, averaging 10.9 points per game, 9 rebounds per game. She has other coaches talking about her as someone that they have to defend, otherwise she'll burn you on offense, as it was shown that she made the all-star team. She got she got all votes from every single coach from the other teams. She's not only going to get better, she's going to get awesome next year. I would like to present our MVP, voted on by her peers, Tessa Gilligan. season has ended, it's time to start the new season. As I always say, great teams are made in the off-season, but we know where we want to go next year. We just have to figure out how to get there, and that's how we got to get there, by hard work. So Ella did this, set the stage for you guys for next year by embracing and changing the culture of Maynard basketball. So the next two taps, I would like to announce the captains for next season, which is Nina Chiodo and Tessa Gilligan. Come up and take a bow. So if you could, both of you take a piece of Ella's advice. Stay coaching like Ella, captaining like Ella. I'd appreciate it, but let's get to work for next season. Camp starts June 29th, 26th, and Summer League starts the beginning of June. Thank you.
So for indoor track with MVP, I always pick the athletes that get the most points for the team through dual meets and at the league meet. This runner this year came in doing something I didn't really expect. That was to not play another sport that I know he really loved to play, and he ended up joining indoor track, which I very much appreciate. There he took on the captain role and really showed off his speed in the mile and 1,000 meters. He qualified to go to the Division 5 state championship, and he medaled in the mile. This year's MVP for the boys team is Gabe Arroyo. And for the girls, this athlete is, I know I probably said this a few times tonight, but is one of the hardest workers out there and puts enormous pressure on herself to perform, maybe with a little extra pressure from her dad. She topped off a great season by becoming a league champ in the 55-meter hurdles and qualified for the state championship race. Even with that success, I can already see that she's going to improve much over the next couple of years with that type of work ethic. This year's MVP for girls goes to Izzy Berg. And for next year's captains, with our growing team, we still need great leaders. We're going to continue on with Bree and Henry. We'll continue being captains. We're going to add in Sylvia.
Well, thank you, coaches, for the wonderful award and the great descriptions of the seasons and all the award winners. So could we please give the coaches one more round of applause? Let's also give all of our award recipients and all of our student athletes a big round of applause. And before we go, it was brought to my attention there's still 2 gift cards that were not given out yet. So, seat number C6. C6? And seat number A4. A4. Like I said earlier, I had a lot of fun watching all the coaches and the athletes work hard throughout the season. There was a lot of success, and I'm really excited to see what the future brings for next year. And one final shout out to WABM for helping us with this event tonight. And with a lot of our events throughout each season, especially basketball season. Well, that concludes the Winter Awards ceremony. Thank you all for coming, and have a good night.